Come on, say your ex, the social media. Waiting concern me where she did. I don't know where she did. Anywhere where she did. Nothing concern me for this life.
What's up, my people? How are they waiting? They haven't waiting this up. First of all, I want to thank those of you that just subscribed. It started as a joke. I'm not really a big fan of asking people to subscribe in the beginning of the video, but it just encourages me to, want to do more. And so that's why I'm just saying thank you, for subscribing. Yeah. So today's news is a very, very serious one. You see, Daddy Freeze and his current wife, I'm sure you might have seen a couple of videos on social media, of the wife and Daddy Freeze reacting to the news about appeal court upholding the 5 million naira adultery fine. That's what they call it, against Daddy Freeze.
You can put the adulteress tag on my forehead, right? If divorcing my ex 12 years ago and starting a relationship before the end of my 10-year divorce lawsuit makes me an adulteress, I am going to wear that tag like a crown with pride on my forehead.
I don't think people know how serious it is what that man Daddy Freeze is going through. Daddy Freeze might be trying to mask what he's going through, but he cannot tell me that at some point he didn't sit down and just think about the whole thing and feel worried for himself. Even his mental health, the mental stress this could have caused for over 12 years. I will explain. As usual, stick around, my people.
Come. I get one gist for una. Shh. This gist na hot gist. Mo sneak outside, go make I go give you this gist. Hey! Omo, this gist bad go. Mo come out. Oh yeah.
You see, it is one thing to marry someone that is coming from a turbulent marriage or a troubled marriage. It's another thing. Or a toxic marriage. It's another thing to marry someone that is coming not just from a toxic or a chaotic marriage, also marrying that person with 3 kids and a niece that she adopted, but 3 kids with that man. And not, it didn't stop there. The same ex-husband is dragging you, that you are the current husband, to court for adultery. That you slept with the wife when she was still in the marriage. Now, don't forget to, that's why I told you that this thing is serious. So don't forget. See, it's in the word. Don't forget to, Daddy Freeze himself is coming from an unstable marriage. In fact, I'll call it a conflict-ridden marriage. Daddy Freeze himself is dealing with his own. So you see how big. So people, when you talk about this, they don't really know. Probably because Daddy Freeze acts strong, so they don't really want to see it as maybe it's this thing. Maybe maybe it's not that serious. Maybe it is just, for me, the mental stress Daddy Freeze might have experienced based on this, and it did not stop there. Your 2 kids, that's Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze has 2 kids with this lady, Okpeyemi. Your 2 kids were taken away from you. He's estranged from the kids. They don't have good relationship. They are closer to their mom more. And their mom kept them away from Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze's current wife, that stays bots, now has a husband that is constantly attacking Daddy Freeze. I want to correct something. Some people thought that she has 4 kids. She brought 4 kids into that marriage. That's Daddy Freeze marriage. By the way, herself and Daddy Freeze welcome a child together. But people thought, okay, it is. She came with 4 kids from the marriage with Paul Odekina. But no, one is a niece. She adopted the child after her sister died. So you can still call her a mother of 5 children, because she legally adopted that one. that lady. So she came with 4 Daddy Freeze kids. The kids are not living with Daddy Freeze. Herself and Daddy Freeze actually welcome a child. Jason is his name, and she is 46 years old. But this woman got married when she was young. You know how we do it here. Like I always say, we pick it from the bottom. You understand, so that you can fully, not half, understand what this is all about. Now, she got married in 2002. In that marriage, according to her, they only had sex 11 times. 11 times. 10 years of marriage. 2022 to... sorry, I said 2022. 2002 to 2012. 11 times. The case is still in court. Now, this lady, that his current wife, accused the ex-husband of being gay.
I filed for a divorce from him because of his sexual perversion. And there is a point where you get to as a human being when you realize that something or whatever it is you're in is never going to work. Because when I signed a contract to marry him, I believed I was, marrying a man that shared the same type of sexuality with me. Not to get me wrong, I do not have any issues with people that, have different sexual orientation. I do not have any issue with that. But when you come and you say you want to go into a marriage contract with someone, you both have to share the same sexual orientation. So when you get into that marriage and you find out that this was not what you bargained for, it's like you were tricked into the marriage. The marriage is a sham. It's not what you thought. For example, we got married in 2002. I filed for a divorce in 2012. I filed. For the 10-year period we were married, we actually had sex 11 times. I'm sorry. We actually had sexual intercourse 11 times in 10 years. He wouldn't let me sleep in his room. I have to stay in my own room. He would only come to see me when he thinks we should make a baby.
She even says she has evidence that she caught them. I'm sure some of you might have seen a video of Daddy Freeze making fun of the guy recently. It is the ex-husband making fun of the guy.
Hey, one guy for a gay, he named a Gabriel. Hey, they say Gabriel wife don't run leave him. Oh, hey, I don't know whether this story na confirm, but I go tell you what I hear. They say this Gabriel get one friend that they call the friend Gaius. The two of them, they be best of friend. Gaius get one sister wey he name na Abigail. They say, Abigail they sell agege bread. They say Gabriel wife go buy agege bread. Gabriel no comfy chop the agege bread. He say he want chop the bread where they sell for game. Now so fight start. Oh, this thing where they tell you, not tell anybody. Oh, this gist not gree. Oh, hey, see Gabriel say he want chop agege bread where they sell for game.
Said that they would take the case to Supreme Court. Daddy Freeze said that it is false that he did not sleep with her when she was in the relationship. She made a video recently too, where she said, I don't know if you've seen it. She made a video recently and said that they should show proof that she knew Daddy Freeze before 2012. She said she filed for divorce in 2012.
If you put the adulteress tag on my forehead, I will wear it with pride. I divorced my ex 12 years ago. I filed for the divorce. So if they're trying to change the narrative to make it look like I was caught in an adultery and he divorced me, that is not the case. I filed for a divorce from my ex based on our sexual differences, our sexual orientation. We have different sexual orientations. That is the story. That is the story that can never ever change. No matter how they try to disguise it. I filed. And I remember quite clearly in court, my lawyer asked them if they had any evidence whatsoever to show that I knew who Daddy Freeze was, or Daddy Freeze knew who I was before 2012. They should bring the evidence forward. Up until today, no singular evidence to show that I knew who Daddy Freeze was before I filed for a divorce. So I filed for a divorce on the grounds of different orientation. That was why I filed. Toxic marriage, battery, those were the grounds on which I filed. That is in my court documents and it can never change. And should they have any evidence contrary to that, we are currently in the Supreme Court, so they should bring all the evidence to the Supreme Court.
She might lose the case in Supreme Court because I think the calculation was based off of when she welcomed her child. I'm going to read a post, so we don't need to rush this. I'm going to read a post that explained it well. And the person that posted it, I'm also going to give more information about it. So before 2012, she denied knowing Daddy Freeze because that was around the time she filed for divorce. Right? Now, the argument here is not about when she met Daddy Freeze. It's about whether she was still legally married at the time herself and Daddy Freeze were doing it. I think that was the argument. It wasn't about, I filed for divorce. Have they finalized the divorce around that time? Now they're asking Daddy Freeze to pay. They've said I didn't do it and take it to Supreme Court. I don't think that they will win the case, but it is just how draining this might have been.
Okay. Way into the marriage, I caught him red-handed in gay sex. I walked into him in our living room in I think at about 1:40 a.m. with a guy I don't really know who he is, but he obviously walked in with that person at that time of the night. And I walked into them in our living room. And I can tell you it was a struggle. We live in a society where you have to do everything as a woman to preserve your marriage.
I'm going to read this. What Daddy Freeze said, they were interviewed on Bella Niger. He said, let me read. I have known her since late 2012. I think it was at House on the Rock. I can't really remember, but it was a church setting. I was doing something for them and we met.
Okay, sorry, it was not church. We did not meet in church. We met somewhere else. Then I think she now invited me to church, or I invited her to church. It was something along those lines. You see, do you know why I don't remember how we met? Because we did not meet with romantic intentions.
I used to help her, but we never clicked like that. Our paths crossed on business basis. She had a yogurt factory in Port Harcourt then, and she needed publicity, and I was like, no problem. I remember calling her once or twice, and I got pissed because her ringtone was one Daddy Gio's preaching. So I never called again until much later, as we got talking eventually around the middle of 2013. She told me she filed for divorce, and I was like, what? No, you have to fix it. Marriage must be fixed and all that. Then she told me why she filed for divorce, which I can't say here. Eventually, we became friends and the friendship started growing. I was also in a bad relationship at the time. We're not friends. We were just fooling ourselves. When my ex moved out, that was around June 2014, I had the luxury of being alone and the void needed to be filled, and somehow it was filled. That was what Daddy Freeze said about whether she was assaulted or not. She actually shared medical reports as proof to show that yes, even while I was with this man, Not only the fact that this man is gay, this man assaulted me. She showed proof in court. Even in 2021, Daddy Freeze too said that he was really, really excited after he divorced the ex. He's got a boy and a girl. Now, following their separation, Okpeyemi, who's the ex-wife, took custody of the kids. Now, they are outside of the country. Even Daddy Freeze at some point came out to say that left Nigeria with the kids. He was really angry. And by the way, they got divorced in 2014 over allegations of adultery and domestic violence. Now, Daddy Freeze's ex-wife, accused him of the same thing that Daddy Freeze is accusing her of. So we don't even know who to believe here. But rumors had it that when they were living together, they always fight. Neighbors, some people that claim to be their neighbors, said that they always fight. Sometimes they even come out to fight. In fact, some people said that they were even happy when they heard that they've gone their separate ways, because those two, they don't just walk out.
Ask anybody, ask N6, I call him name. Ask N6, N6 go tell you. Ask anybody that worked in Cool FM that period. I go close for 9. Sit down for that office till 12 midnight. I no go house. Why? Why I know they come out like that now? On top of all the beautiful girls. Forget girls those days. You see, those days we they meet girls for radio. Baba. Now we they meet girls where you go see them they fine like this for social media. No need to waka. You don't need to tell girl for radio, say, come make I see as you look. You they see them for my life. Why I no chase any of them? If I get girlfriend as I did, make the talk. Please, if you are my girlfriend, raise your hand. Though, if me and you they sleep together, raise your hand. If me and you they date, raise your hand. I challenge you publicly today. Any girl where I they date now, or where I don't date in the last 5 years, may they raise hand. Oh yeah, I'm waiting.
Now, I'm going to read what Daddy Freeze said about Okpeyemi. He said, my marriage to Okpeyemi Morenike Oni didn't break down due to adultery, social media, or whatever she is claiming. It broke down because of domestic violence. I have court papers to prove it. So Daddy Freeze now is saying that he has court papers to prove it. We're going to read the wife statement too on that. The ex-wife. Why do you keep saying wife? Ex-wife. Daddy Freeze go twist my mouth for saying that. Ex-wife. So Daddy Freeze said this. He said she doesn't have my consent to travel with my kids without my knowledge. Is it even legal? What is the job of the Nigerian Immigration Service? Really? I just want to know where my kids are. That's all. You see, guys, all through 2015, Daddy Freeze was in the news on account of his messy separation from his wife. You can imagine being in a relationship that is so bad that throughout a particular year, you guys were going back and forth at it. And it gets even more interesting when the ex-husband of your wife creates, is suspected, is not confirmed though, let me put it that way, creates an account, a faceless account on Instagram to drag you and reveal a lot of things about Daddy Freeze. Although Daddy Freeze defended himself, they said that the purported affair with Benedicta, that's Tazebot, Daddy Freeze's wife, it was gathered resulted in the birth of her son in 2015.
It's like saying presently, if you, Edochie, should date, should decide that she wants to start dating, she is committing adultery. Right? Legally, they will say, Edochie is committing adultery because her divorce is not yet final. But is she still practically married to you? The answer is no, they are not, right? So any woman that files for a divorce and decides to start dating is an adulteress. But any man that files for a divorce can go ahead and remarry even before that divorce is finalized. Men can remarry even without filing for a divorce from their ex-wives. Men can remarry even without asking permission from their wives. But women cannot date after filing for a divorce. That is the country we live in. And that is why I am doing this live.
Now, let me read this new report. I am innocent. I did not do it, he wrote on Instagram. In another post, he wrote, stop spreading misinformation. That is talking to Punch newspaper. You can do better.
My anger is Punch newspaper and this irresponsible form of journalism. That's my only anger inside this matter. God will bless this guy, Medina tomorrow. Men, hold your wives tight. Don't lose her before you see her value. Taste buds continues to shine.
Speaking on Instagram Live, that if we stated, I've never slept with any man's wife before. I'm not guilty of any adultery. He said he would rather send the money to those in need, but will never pay the fine.
I know I've spent my money. I know I've used good lawyers. I know I've tried to justify to vindicate myself and clear my name, and I lost. We paid the 5 million. It's as simple as that. It's 5M, 30M, 70M, 100M. We paid the 5M. But we will not lose. We can never lose. Let me not say we can never lose. I'm not the one judging the case. By the grace of God, we will not lose. Because we have a good case. And I believe our good case is going to be tabled before professionals. Even in the Court of Appeal, we did not lose. They did not say that my case was not good. They only said that why did we not take it to the lower court? Why did we bring it to the court? That they don't have the jurisdiction to hear it. And we said we did not get justice in the lower court. That's why we came to you. But I know we'll get justice in the Supreme Court.
But you know that they organized a private wedding, I think it was 2 years ago, in the UK. A very nice wedding. It was officiated by the pastor, Pastor Toby. You know, cool wedding, but very, very low-key. In fact, I would describe it like this: hush wedding. The wife didn't even wear those white wedding gowns so that people wouldn't know, but it eventually got out. And another reason why I think that they really want to do the hush wedding in the UK, thinking about it, the wife also probably thought about it, that no, I don't want this thing to trend again. I don't want to open old wounds. If you ask me, nothing actually trend. Nothing. Nobody made reference to what happened in the past, or they call her a harlot. They call her different names. Somebody that cheated or slept with another man while still in in the marriage and stuff like that. So I think they just don't want that to start trending. I mean, it's not because they can't make it public. They will have, but they just don't want that drama. Well, this is dragging for too long. This case has been in the court for a long time. So Daddy Freeze few years ago, I think, shared this: when a man hits a woman, he is a monster. What about when a woman repeatedly is violent to a man, and when that violence extends to his family? It says here, I am speaking out because I was once a victim of domestic abuse, not because I'm trying to spite my ex. What if I had died from the injuries? As we continue to encourage silence because of maturity, we continue to punish innocent men being abused daily. I have injuries that have left my close friends and colleagues baffled. If I retaliate, I become a wife beater. Who speaks up for us men? Says silence and maturity never helped. It made me the victim. seemed like the aggressor, leading me to finally speak out. Now, the ex-wife granted an interview with Bella Ninja. I think her intention was to react to this comment by Daddy Freeze. So she said here, a year ago before I left, I had to stay in my marriage and be called Benedicta. What does she mean? Like, so what she's trying to say here is while they were in that marriage, Daddy Freeze have also been sleeping with the current wife. Probably that's what she's trying to say here. You see it? You see what I'm trying to say? Said, I have enough evidence with my lawyers that will show all the abuse I went through. He cursed my son for covering me up while he was hitting me. My kids are in a much better place now and are happy. We live in a better situation and a more positive environment. So who is really lying? Or both of them they fight? Let's say maybe now they fight. Maybe one person get power past the other person. So this one claim I was abused, the other person claim I was abused. Is that what happened? So there was no go-to book or counselor. My not responding then was me broken, confused, and lost. He used to beat me and put her on speakerphone and say, so he used to beat you and put the lady Benedicta on speakerphone. So even Daddy Freeze too was married at that time. Let us continue. He said he would put her on speakerphone and say, look, I'm beating her and she has refused to leave. Then she would scream at me to get out of the house, but I didn't have anywhere to go. So let me understand this correctly. What is really going on? So the ex-wife is saying that Daddy Freeze will put that lady, will put a call through to Benedicta, the wife now. On speaker, not video call. The video call wasn't a big deal then. So he said we put you on speakerphone. And she will scream that leave the house. So technically, what she's trying to say is that if Freeze was legally married, she was legally married to, that's the wife, the now wife, she was legally married to Odekina and they were doing it at that time. Let us continue. Then she would scream at me to get out of the house, but I didn't have anywhere to go. I had no exit strategy, but at the end of the day, I had to leave because if I had died, that is how the story would have ended. So that if he himself too said, I would have died, but thank God, if I had died, but thank God I didn't die, I left.
I not carry crying up and down that my ex left. Me where they do shock te me say I not talk say she bad o. She not just good for me and I not good for am. And the day she live my life from that day to today, na enjoyment. I just dey enjoy. God just dey bless me. I just dey happy. I just dey ball. Someone say your ex dey social media. Wetin concern me where she dey? I don't know where she dey. Anywhere where she dey, nothing concern me for this life. Let me tell you, when I was with my ex, my work they close 9. Ask anybody where they live for Cool FM. My work they close 9 o'clock. I go sit down for office. I no go gree go house till 11. Meanwhile, I dey with taste buds. I know they gree come out for house. Just imagine, I close work at 9 o'clock. I no go come house till 11. I go just sit down for office. They play for office. They talk to people for my phone. They work. I go find work, give myself. I no get business to go that house till 11. If I go sneak inside, do what I want to, come out back again. Now marriage with that. One day my ex looked at me after the whole divorce. Said, God gave you a family. Look what you did with it. I sat there, I looked at her, I said, oh, you mean God put me in an asylum? And I'm not mad. I don't even feel call God inside that thing.
Okay, they asked her, why did he do that to you? She said, he was born into an abusive family. Okay, so I sort of understood where he was coming from. That was one of the reasons why I stayed so long. Even when people ask why I stayed with him when I was admitted into the hospital in 2006, I told them this was someone I basically grew up with. There was so much we had ahead of us, so I wasn't going to walk out on him. If not for my kids, I can assure you I would have still stayed and he would have killed me just because I didn't have anywhere to go. He kept everybody away from me. I think he is disturbed. And this may be his own way of crying out for help. Now, I also think that the kids are on their mom's side. Maybe they are on their mom's side or the woman is lying or something. I don't know, but let us read. I asked them, my kids, for their permission before I did this interview. And my daughter goes, Mommy, you've been quiet. And it's almost like you are afraid of him. My son said, Mommy, you are afraid of Daddy, even though we've left. I had to let them know I am not afraid of him. And that's why I have decided to speak up. Daddy Freeze was like, nah. I need to react to this. In 2017, Daddy Freeze released this. He said, Dear Okpeyemi, why are you doing this? And why at this time? I am tempted to start releasing real evidence. But you know what? I won't. Because I won't comment on a matter subjudiced by the court. Why are you so angry that I am in a better place right now? You told my parents at the last family meeting that we had that I was going to die without you in the presence of at least 7 witnesses 3 years ago. Are you so sad that I am alive and well? Why is it peppering you? You gave me the worst union a man could ever have, the worst marital nightmare ever, yet I thank you for it. You claimed I come from a violent family. Now, wow, can you own up to the world about the circumstances in which your father Samuel Oni died? I want you to use your own mouth to say it. Okay, whether you like to admit or not, I am wonderful with children. Many times when I'm preaching, my son would sneak into my live videos. He even takes his mom's phone to call me at work. People viewing my live stream videos can attest to our closeness. So why try paint me black and accuse me of violence against my other son? The other day I wrote in the article about TBUs and the reality of depression. Do you think I wrote it because I like to write it? No, I wrote it because of the severe depression I experienced as a result of living with you and the point of suicide it brought me to. I'm over that now, thank God. I started dating Benedicta 4 months after you used your own hand to pack out. Does it seem short? Remember, we stopped sleeping together for almost 2 years before you left. So for almost 2 years, according to Daddy Freeze, they stopped sleeping together. And even the wife said that herself and that man, Paul Odekina, only had sex 11 times. Now, the story about Andela. Now, you probably wonder, who is Andela? Nobody knows till date who is Andela. But guess what? That page was specially created to attack Daddy Freeze. And I'm ready to shock you. Wait. Do you know that page still exists and still have the stories about Daddy Freeze? Yes, you can go and check it out. Go to most of the page, at least 90% of the posts were about Daddy Freeze. It's still up there. It's still there about Daddy Freeze. Now, I'm going to read some of the posts. So now, according to Daddy Freeze, that man, that person behind that handle is the wife's ex-husband. This guy explained to us, or whoever this is, why they believe that lady slept with Daddy Freeze while she was in the marriage with Paulo Dekina. Let me read what he said so that you can understand. The 1-year birthday of your cute son, Jason, was celebrated in the low-key event on the second week of May 2016 at Rhapsody's restaurant and nightclub. Even put the address there. It was displayed on social media. Let us subtract 1 year from that. Means that Jason was born on the second week of May 2015. Assume you started dating Benedicta, your illegitimate baby mama, in January 2015. Same month you filed for divorce from your wife, which is still ongoing. Then your child came 5 months after you started dating Benedicta. I am ready to hire the best experts to confirm the scientific feasibility of this feat, even if the child was premature. Your wife packed out of your house mid-2015 when she issued a statement to deny beating you up. This still cracks me up every time. And blogs in 2014 announced the crash of your marriage linked to a mother of 4 in Port Harcourt who was still in her husband's house as at December 2014. I deal with facts that are visible to the blind and audible to the deaf. Please, Daddy Freeze, deny this and make my day. I dare you. Let our adorable bloggers do the math and verify for themselves. I'm not even started. So the wife is keeping these kids away from their father because she feels like this man is a danger in the life of the kids. So she's not even releasing the kids. Why Daddy Freeze, on the other hand, his kids have been taken away from him? Like, it's a roller coaster of emotions. I think in every marriage, there's something that dealing with or trying to, solve. But in this, it is not even about them. They not having issues. I'm talking about Daddy Freeze and the wife. Sadly, their major problem is fighting the people that they left years ago till date. And that might last a lifetime. Might. I don't know. Guys, that's where I'm going to hold it. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
You see, this narrative has to change. This narrative has to change. Women are not slaves. When a woman files for a divorce from a man, she's no longer married to that man, and the divorce is taking years to happen. If that woman should find love, she has every right to be happy in that relationship. And if that comes with a price tag of being called an adulteress, wear the adulteress tag with a crown. Wear it boldly with a crown. I'd rather be called an adulteress for filing for a divorce, moving on with my life as a single woman and dating, than to be in a marriage where I am cheating. We have so many married women out there that are in their marriages, but they are dating. They are in their marriages, they are having affairs, they are in their marriages, they are bringing children that do not belong to their husbands into the marriage. But guess what? They are married. It is called Lagos marriage, Abuja marriage, marriage of understanding. The man has his side chicks, the woman has her boyfriend, but they are married. I would rather, as a woman, stay 100% faithful to my husband. And the moment I feel the marriage is over, I will file for a divorce and move on with my life. My ex is listening to this. If I were so bad, if I was such an adulteress, it is 12 years since I left you. Can you leave me and my new husband? Let us have peace. You've been going about crying for the past 12 years. They stole your wife. They stole your wife. Making me look like a commodity, like a piece of furniture that has no voice. I am a human being. I am a woman. I have a voice. I am not a piece of furniture for any man to steal, to carry, to lift. This has been going on for 12 years. They stole your wife. They stole your wife. We are presently in the Supreme Court. We moved from the court, High Court, to the Court of Appeal, and as at last month, we moved the case to the Supreme Court. Until we get justice, we are not resting on this matter. So why don't you exercise patience, be a man, and wait for the judgment from the Supreme Court instead of going to meet tabloids that have no credibility, if you ask me. That is why Arise will not carry that information. That is a reputable news publishing firm. They wouldn't carry your story. So please, we are in the Supreme Court. Can you please exercise patience and allow the Supreme Court to give its final verdict? I am in a happy place. Daddy Freeze makes me happy. He has given to me what I could not get with my ex. He's helping me raise children that are not his. When my ex refused to pay his children's school fees, he refused to send feeding money, no accommodation. For the past 12 years, I have been feeding my children, clothing them, sending them to school, caring for them, unassisted. Why? Because I asked for joint custody. I have always preached this in a divorce situation. Couples divorcing should please understand the importance of joint custody. As for joint custody, my ex asked for sole custody. That's where all this problem is coming from. Why would you ask for sole custody? You are telling me you have a sister that is mature enough, a sister you trust to raise my children. So I should hand over my children that were 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and I think 6-year-old to your sister to raise, right? So that is where all of this is starting from, while I wanted joint custody.